Hi, it's Lori from Coast to Coast Craft Girls coming to you from the West Coast. Today I wanted to share a fun card style. I thought it would be perfect for a New Year's card. And it folds up flat, just like that, and then drops down, and it'll stand up. And when it stands up, it looks like that. Let's see if you can see that. So you can put anything on here. I've done this with acetate and like balloons and stuff, which would be really fun for a birthday. But I thought I'd do a New Year's card. So super easy to make. Let me show you how it's done. So we're going to start out making the base part of the card. And you can make it really any size you want. This is 6 inches wide. So on this one, this is the 6 inches wide. It goes this way. So 6 inches wide. And then this piece is 5 by 7. So when it folds up, it's 6 by 7. Mine's a little taller because I had my little stuff coming off the top. And then as you can see, since it slides up, you want to be careful about what you put on the front. You don't want to put a bunch of dimensional stuff on there because it's not going to slide. Okay. So to make it 6 inches wide like mine, this is 6 by 10, and I've scored at 1 inch, 2.5, 3.5, 5, 6.5, 7.5, and 9, and then it's 10 inches. So I'll repeat that: 1 inch, 2.5, 3.5, 5, 6.5, 7.5, and 9. Okay, and you're just gonna fold and burnish all of these really well. And you just want to, as you're folding and burnishing, just make sure it's nice and straight. And they all go the same way. Then you're going to want to cut a slit right in the middle. Now this is 6 inches wide, and since I cut my centerpiece as a 5 by 7 card, this is going to slide down in. So I got to cut a slit right in that very center. So this is the center fold. So if this is 10 inches wide, this is the 5-inch mark. Okay, so it's literally right in the middle. Okay, that very middle fold. And we're going to cut a slit right on that crease line, and it needs to be just slightly wider than whatever your top piece is. So if you wanted to make this 4 inches high or 4 inches wide or however wide you want, you just need, I would say, at least 1/2 inch on each side here. Although if you get any tighter than that, it's going to rip, and it's not going to be sturdy enough. Okay, so mine is 5 inches wide and this is 6 inches wide, so I've got 1/2 inch on each side. So if you have a paper trimmer, I would do it with that. If you don't have a paper trimmer, you can do it with a craft knife and a ruler. But what I did is I just kind of put it on my paper trimmer, and I went just to one side of the score line, and I cut 1/2 inch in and 1/2 inch down, and then I slid it over to just on the other side of the score line, and I basically cut back the same. And that gives you that little slit. And now you can use, where is it there? Now you can use your craft knife to kind of cut the extra out and make sure you got it all the way down to that 1/2 inch mark. And it is visible, so you want to be sort of neat about it, but it's not that noticeable. So if you don't, that's why I used my paper trimmer, but if you don't have a paper trimmer and you use your craft knife, it works. And then once you get it cut, just take your top piece and make sure it's going to fit and slide. See, mine's in there, and you've got just a little 1/16 of an inch, but it slides easily. Okay, so just like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and decorate, matte and layer these pieces before I put it together, because it's just easier to do while it's flat. So if you, and I'll show you how it's going to go. It's going to go like this. Okay, and then your panel's going to glue between these two. So if it's that way, then you want matte and layers for here and here. So these are 1 inch by 6, so you need 2 of those. These are 1.5 by 6. And so just cut them a little bit short than that. So I'm going to go ahead and matte and layer those. And I've already got some silver Mary card cut that I'm going to use for my mattes and layers. And now I've got my panel that's going to go in, that's going to pop up this back panel. And it's just 1 sheet of card. And mine's 5 by 7, so I cut a piece of mirror card that's just slightly smaller than that. It's going to go on just like that. And I want to cut my, this I cut into. So these are the Crafter's Companion Shadow Alphabet dies. And I'll show you how I did those. So just lay it on your mat. And I lined up, I lined these up. And I got to cut it twice, obviously, because I only have 1, 2. So I'll cut the first one, and then I'll come back and cut the second 2. Save these numbers because I paper pieced back in red. So if you did one with a red background, then you could paper piece in the silver. So if you were doing multiple of them, you can just alternate the colors and save those numbers. Okay, so I've got that weeded, and I went ahead and mounted it onto my black card. And then I've got some red. I basically cut the same numbers out in red. And I'm just going to paper piece those back in. Okay, now while I've got this down here, I'm going to go ahead and I've got this party that I did. This was cut from the Crafter's Companion, you know, the edge word dies, because this is an edgeable. And then I just cut off the bottom. And I'm going to put that right up here at the top. Then I used just a star punch that I have to cut out some stars, and I'm just going to kind of put some stars around. And these can hang off the edge a little bit because, you know, you got a 1/2 inch on that side, on each side. And it's just easier to decorate this when it's flat. That's the only reason I'm doing it now. You can do it afterwards, but it just is easier to do. Now, to put this together, as I said, this is going to wrap around. You're going to glue these 2 pieces together, but this is going to slide in through that, and then it's got to glue onto this piece right here. Okay, so I'm going to slide that up, and I'm going to put some wet glue onto this 1 inch piece where that where that center piece comes down. Okay, and then we're going to lay it flat and slide this all the way down to the edge of that score line. And then let that glue grab. Okay, and then we're going to pull this around, put some glue on this piece, and then fold it over and flatten it. Okay, so we're going to put some glue here. Just don't go past that 1/2 inch piece because you don't want to glue these two, don't want to glue them together. So just flip it over and flatten it. Let that glue grab. And that's it. And it folds up this way. And then stands up like that. Not fun? Now you could just fold it that way too, if you wanted to. You don't have to slide, like if you had dimensional stuff on here, you could just do a fold that way, and then you wouldn't have to worry so much about the dimensional stuff. But I find if you slide it up, it's more likely to stand. If you bend it this way and then try to stand it up, it kind of wants to tip over because it's not. Whereas if you slide it up, then when it comes down, it's more likely to stand up straight because this is more like that as opposed to like that. Hope that makes sense. Anyway, isn't that fun? Really fun card for the new year, but you can make it in for any occasion. Just change up the center panel and the colors and you're all good. Hope you like that. Thanks for watching.